I'm Nancy Aguilar. I'm the host of the podcast Badass in Heels, a podcast about women in the FBI and women in law enforcement. I am a retired FBI supervisory special agent, and if you're new to my feed, welcome. I am reinventing myself. I medically retired from the Bureau last year, August of 2022. So it's been a year that I have been on this new journey of self discovery, what to do post medical retirement, right? But back in July, I decided to start the podcast Badass in Heels because I thought it would be enlightening to share with you all what it's like to be a woman in the FBI. And in order to do so, I'm interviewing extraordinary, current, and retired FBI women. Due to the holidays, I'm getting a little slow in editing and publishing and producing episodes, but I did want to do a recap for you. So, episode 13 was with current Special Agent Amber Mann. She is from the Omaha division and she talks to us about human trafficking in the Midwest. She talks to us about runaway girls. Mostly, it's about her investigation in trying to find them and rescue them from predators who are, in essence, selling them online. So, a really powerful episode. A must listen for everyone who has children or is concerned about the welfare of our children. Episode 12 was with Sasha Taylor. This was my first episode with an intelligence analyst. So, Sasha also medically retired from the Bureau. Coincidentally, she and I had the same neck surgery, anterior discectomy and fusion, which means we now have titanium necks. And I wish I could say I have a superpower, but I don't. So Sasha is my first IA, and she talks to us about what it's like to be an IA in the Bureau. And she also shares with us her personal childhood. She was a child forced into marriage. So she talks to us about how she got out of that challenging situation and how she is now an advocate against child marriage and violence against women. Episode 11 is with powerhouse woman Dr. Rhonda Glover Reese. She is an amazing woman. She talks to us about what it's like to be a woman of color in the FBI, what it's like to ascend the ranks in the FBI. She talks to us about mentoring, leadership, and coaching. And she talks to us about her mom, who is also brilliant. She was a hidden figure for NASA. Episode 10 was with trailblazer Larissa Knapp, unstoppable woman who broke the glass ceiling in the FBI, becoming the first Asian American woman to achieve the highest rank as a special agent woman in the Bureau. She is the current executive assistant director of the National Security Branch. Just a wonderful episode. Larissa gets very real with me, telling her story about her background, what it's like to climb the ranks, and of course, this episode is for anyone out there who's wondering if indeed a woman can reach such a high rank in a law enforcement agency, especially the Bureau. Then I had a special episode about Hamas. This was with a special guest, retired CIA officer Bob Doherty, and he and I talk about the war from the perspective of practitioners. Both he and I had experience working Hamas during our careers. So this is a must listen episode if you are following the war and want to know what the perspective is from CIA and FBI, an officer and a special agent who worked at Hamas portfolio for several years. Then I had another special episode, and this was in Spanish. This was with retired supervisory special agent Doris Beaton. Ese es mi primer episodio en español y estuvo fenomenal. It was my first episode in Spanish, and it was phenomenal. Doris was an amazing agent who was also commended by the White House for her work in counterintelligence. Episode 9 is a two-part episode. No One Is for Sale. This episode was recorded with retired special agent Ida D'Antonio, who worked over 20 years in the fight against human trafficking and crimes, violent crimes against children. This is another powerful episode and another must listen for everyone who has children. Both Amber Mann and Ida D'Antonio give advice on how to protect our children. And we hope that the episodes raise awareness of this pervasive, horrendous crime. Episode 8 was actually recorded on the anniversary of the 9/11 terrorist attacks with my guest, retired special agent Amy Lockney Bytoff, who happened to be in New York City the day of the attacks. And she was parking her car, heard the boom, and ran towards the epicenter to see how she could provide assistance. Episode 7, Let's Follow the Money with Deborah Lapravotte, retired supervisory special agent who is an expert in kleptocracy. Deborah fought and continues to do so by working for George Clooney in the fight against kleptocracy, meaning she helps bring down corrupt officials who are greedy and stealing money. Episode 6, it's a two-part episode with renowned retired supervisory special agent Zorka Martinovich, who is a hostage negotiator. So, if you're wondering about the hostage world, what it's like to negotiate, although, yes, the United States doesn't do concessions and negotiate with terrorists, this is a very interesting episode. Episode 5, let's go to Quantico. If you are in line to go to Quantico, if you have a Quantico Academy date, if you're applying to become a special agent with the Bureau, this episode is for you. Retired supervisory special agent Michelle Pickens, who continues to give back by being an instructor at the Academy, talks to us about what it's like to be in the Academy, what it was like for her to be at the Academy back in the day. And then she gives us tips on how to prepare for the Academy and how to succeed in the Academy. Episode 4, two-part episode with retired supervisory special agent Maria Ruelas, who worked coast to coast and was also assigned to Puerto Rico. She talks to us about a case, Operation Dark Shadows, where she brings down a corrupt Customs and Border Protection officer. Episode 3 was Off the Chain with retired supervisory special agent Tracy Bradford, who was an amazing undercover agent, traveled to Afghanistan, did several tours overseas, and climbed a ladder at headquarters. She tells us her story of what it's like to be a woman of color in the FBI. Episode 2 is with current supervisory special agent Claudia, who is in the Puerto Rico office. She is my first intelligence analyst who became a special agent. So listen to that episode if you want to get an idea of other opportunities that the Bureau offers, right? We have so many positions in which you can support the mission, and you can always transition to a special agent afterwards, just like she did. And episode 1 kicked it off with my friend Nidia Gamba, who is a retired supervisory special agent who investigated the 9/11 attacks and through her investigations was able to disrupt a major attack here in US soil. So that is a recap of all my extraordinary guests. If you want to read a little bit more about them and see some pictures, visit my website, badassinheels.com. If you want to know or learn about me, also go to my website, visit me on LinkedIn, where you can ping me if you have questions about joining the Bureau, what it's like to be a woman in the Bureau, what it's like to medically retire. I am here. So have a great weekend, and I'll release another episode next week, and then I'll probably take a break because it is Christmas time. And I hope you all have plans for a wonderful holiday season with your family. Bye.